Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today is going to be an information video all about the beast. I've had a lot of you ask questions, and I thought it was time to actually do a video on it. I've already shot this video once, but I didn't do something right with my mics and all that audio was crap. So I have to redo this. So this one's actually probably going to be better than the other one. So let's just dive in and go over everything and show it to you. We might as well start with the inside. And what I'm going to do is start with the racks, because the racks are very important, but I'm going to just put gloves on because I haven't washed them. But I want to do one thing. So this here, this is one of the racks from the Dynaglow, the smoker I was using. So this is how big that is. Now if we go in here, and we take one of the full-size racks now, that's how big they are. Just to give you a size comparison. So they are quite a bit bigger, which is awesome. In this smoker, I've actually got 6 levels, but I only have 5 racks. That way, my intention was to, if I needed to move things around, I have that one spare shelf in there, so that I can do things like that. I use the expanded steel number 9, flat 9, whatever they want to call it. There's a bunch of different names. I used it for 3 of the racks. 2 of the racks have smaller. The reason with that is because I do a lot of lighter products too, like beef jerky. I don't need the weight. So these lighter racks are perfect. Some of the math, the usable space on these racks is 24 by 27. So what that gives you, yeah, excuse me, I have my cheat sheet because I have way too many numbers to try and remember. So with this rack, I have, for all you barbecue people out there, 648 square inches of cooking surface. That's just one. I've got 5 racks, so if you do the math, that's a total of 3,240 square inches of cooking space I have in this bad boy. I think it's pretty impressive for this. It's been good so far. Another number that you guys probably want to know is the cubic space inside this one is 31,184 cubic inches. Now if you do the conversion, this would equal a 135 gallon smoker. Not huge by any standards, but being the vertical offset, I get a lot of cooking space. And that's what I wanted. I like this style, and it works. If you were to just take these out normally, they would fall. But what I did, there are pieces of the same bracket here, which we'll use to actually make the shelves. There's a piece here. We have it just spaced wide enough so that you can put the rack in. But the beauty with this is that is holding. So if you have something heavy on here and you want to pull it out just to check, you can do your thing, check. You're not going to have it falling on you, which is a bonus. Another feature, the bottom of the smoker is actually sloped towards the front. There is a 2-inch drain with a cap, so I can put the cap on and off. If I'm not using it, I'll throw the cap on. If I'm smoking, we take it off. let everything drain off, not just onto the ground, but in a pail. Each wall, the side walls, the top, the bottom, and the back are all insulated. So basically what we did is we put a box inside a box and insulated with a 1.5 inch thick rock salt. Works great. The construction of the outside shell and all the bits, even the firebox, is 1/8 thick steel. The only thing we didn't insulate really was the door, but we did frame it out, put an X on it to help with stability and no warpage. We've got the thermometer here coming through. I went with a True, which is an American brand, been out around a long time. It works. They've been making thermometers for smokers for a very long time. Plus, they have a very good warranty. I'm not sponsored, by the way. But anyways, I really wanted to go with something that I can trust, because this is something key to producing great smoked product. The hinges here, these are what you call like a bullet hinge. These are a 4.5 inch welded actually to the frame and to the door. These also have a grease nipple, so you can put grease in there. The beauty of these, what's a good way to do this? This actually, they lift up. So if I needed to do something, let's say to the door, I can just pull the door off really fast, get it fixed if I had to. There's all these little things that you had to think about, and I really didn't understand how complex things get when you actually build something custom. And even with the door handles here, this was Courtney's design. She came up with this idea. So this way we've got a nice positive closure. The door is nice and tight. But there is, if you see here on the door and around, I did put a barbecue gasket just to make sure that it's airtight and nothing leaks, and nothing does leak. It's perfect. It gives you that just extra security. Chimney, smokestack, whatever you want to call it. So my thought process here was to put a smoke collector to force all that hot air in. All the hot air that's in there, force it to one point to go up. I've seen guys put just the smokestack in and out, but I was worried about creating weird air patterns with the smoke. I want to get it in, let it do its thing, and then come out and out. This is a 5-inch steel pipe, 33 inches long. I've also got the flap here, damper, whatever you want to call it, so that if I'm not using it, I'll leave it closed. But usually when when I'm cooking, it's open to get full airflow. Works well. I don't have any crazy air patterns, and if you go back and watch the bread video, you'll see actually how the air goes. You can really see it with the bread. So you're probably wondering about this. This is actually a stainless steel piece from a bearing. I found a bearing which actually had the right size so that the thermometer would fit in there. I thought it would just look cool. This is a stainless steel pipe I had, 1.5 inches. We turned that into the handle. That will never get hot. It's beautiful, never rust. With some of the expanded steel that we had left over, we put it on the bottom for extra storage on the frame. Firebox, this is where all of the, I'm gonna call it magic happens. The magic to make that magic happen. I had a lot of discussions in my own head about how to do this, and I really wanted something big enough that when you actually have the fire going, you can really control where the fire is in the Firebox, how big it is. So basically it's 24 inches wide. From the front to the back, you're 30 inches, and it's 18 inches deep. We've insulated the same thing. We insulated the walls, and then I also created like a V shape. It's to help with the wood, so that I have the nice bed of coals. I can put the piece of wood on top, and it's spaced just right so that you get enough air and airflow through it, and which makes a beautiful fire. Without fire, your offset smoker is not good. You need good clean fire. I don't have any vents in the door, and I did that on purpose. I don't usually like that. What we did is very simple. This little bar on the door which moves, and this bracket here with notches. So depending on what I'm doing, depending on how big the fire is, how hot I want the fire for there, I've got notches here. So the bigger the opening, the more air, the hotter the fire. So if you really want to control it, stop it down, and it does. It works. It's pretty cool. It's very simple. Nothing fancy. The door is not insulated. I wasn't worried about that, but we did frame it and brace it again because this is really close to the fire and we didn't want warpage. So we're going to take you inside now just to show you what it looks like. Okay, so here we go. We're nice and low here. This is the inside of the Firebox. These are the angled walls I was talking about. Also made out of 1/8 thick steel. Courtney welded all that together. These are filled also with insulation, so are the walls. Here we go, we have the bullet hinges again, just smaller. Also with the grease nipple on there, so we can put grease in there if we want. This is basically from the last fire. It burns down quite well. All I do is use this old charcoal, light that for the next fire. And one beautiful thing about this Firebox, wasn't my idea. It was an idea from another smoker builder who was actually in the Brampton area. And this piece of steel on top is one solid piece, 3/8 thick, and I can actually use that as a cooktop. If you've watched any of the videos with the new smoker, you would have seen me actually using it. And I have lots of plans for using it again and more, and I have ideas for just using that for videos as well. It's beautiful. As long as the fire is big enough in here, gives you great heat on there. I just keep it oiled. Next time I'm gonna go use it, if I want to cook something on there, I will fire the smoker up, let it get to temp, scrape the top off, and then just re-season it. Put some butter or tallow on, and basically becomes a non-stick pan, and it's awesome. I love it. So there you go. It's very simple. There is a hole about 2.5 inches roughly at the end where it's joined to the smoker. There is about an inch height difference from the floor, so if there's any liquid in there, it will not come into the smoker. Courtney did this. Andre's Smoking Hot Foods. Let's show you right there. Boom. Courtney did that. It's awesome. It was a lot of empty real estate, and it's great for advertising. I love it. Thanks, Courtney. And that's made out of stainless steel, so I don't have to worry about that. And before I forget, the frame, it's 1.5 inch square tubing. Also custom frame made just to fit this. I've got wheels on it. The two on this side are swivel, the two on this side are not. I didn't spend lots of money on wheels because I I knew I was going to place it here and not move it. But actually, when we moved into the backyard, it actually worked quite well over the grass. I was shocked, but anyways, I really didn't care too much about the wheels. They are bolted on, so I can change them at any time if I want to, because we were thinking ahead about different things. Probably one of the big things, or one of the main questions I had, was hours and cost. Material cost, yeah, I paid for all the steel. Lots of different stories there, but basically you're about $1,900 Canadian for all the steel to make the racks, everything, the smokestack, everything. You're looking at around, hours wise, I didn't keep a detailed an account of the hours, but you're looking at about 40 to 50 hours, and that's 3 people for that full time. So we did it on the weekend because Courtney has a full-time job, I have a full-time job, she's a mom, she still has to spend time with the kid. You know, we all have other things, so we could only dedicate a certain amount of time each week, but we did every week. We were there till we were finished, got it done. I can't even count how many times I've used it now, but it's beautiful. I've done everything from beef jerky to brisket, pulled pork now. They've all come out great. Yes, there's a big learning curve because I have to learn. I'm still learning this because depending on the weather, how the air, depends where the wind comes from, the humidity, all that all matters. And it doesn't matter what smoker you have, it all matters. But yeah, I love it. I just love doing this. You get so hooked on it. It's crazy. You know, crazy weather here. I'm just about to start my closing and it starts raining. Like, it couldn't have waited 10 minutes, Mother Nature, really? Well, anyways, people, I hope you found that informative. If you do have any other questions, if I did forget anything, leave me some comments below. I will get to them. Yeah, thunder and lightning. Anyways, thanks for watching. I hope you found that interesting, and I guarantee the next one will be a cooking video. I don't know what yet, but I got lots of stuff planned. And thanks for watching. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, leave me some comments, and happy eating.